coming out of Gardner-Webb, we talked after the game, and it's got to start with that rushing attack. Your satisfaction with the offensive line, Andre Stoddard, a big game, and just great offensive execution running the ball.
Yeah, I mean, we had really good numbers, and that's all about execution. And it's all about the guys starting it up front, doing what they're supposed to do. It starts with the quarterback, reading how he's supposed to read it. And then, I think our offensive staff did a tremendous job of putting our guys in position, executing what we needed to with what they were giving us defensively. And we were able to take advantage of those things. And then as the game went on, we just got stronger and stronger offensively, which was really great to see.
And now this is a pretty good when we get back into the thick of the conference. We're on the road at Chattanooga. Your early impressions of Chattanooga and what they've been able to do so far this year?
I think they're a tough football team. I do think they have a lot of resiliency. You're not going to go in there. They're going to be hungry to go against us. I think they do a great job of coaching on offense and defense. I've spent most of my time here the last 24 hours watching their offense, obviously. I think their head coach, with his background, does a great job with the quarterback. You can see that in terms of what he's been able to do from a numbers standpoint. So we'll have our hands full from a secondary standpoint. We'll have our hands full getting a pass rush on this guy, and they have a good football team, and they're going to be ready to play the Terriers.
I don't know that we faced anything that could be called a hostile atmosphere this year, but it's a big game for them, certainly. Have you talked to the guys yet, even though it's early in the week, about these road tests and the fact that sometimes it's us against the world?
These road games are critical. I mean, it's going to be important for our success in terms of doing what we want to do as a football program. So we really don't change, our formula, whether we're at home or we're on the road. It doesn't matter where we're playing. It's all about each individual guy becoming the best version of themselves. And when we get out there, the field is the field, the dimensions are the dimensions, and you have a job to do and you've got a responsibility.
What do you make of the Southern Conference so far? Not even halfway through, and we've had some very surprising results based on the preseason prognostications. Is that a statement maybe that the conference is a lot more balanced than people thought at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, and I think that's true every year. I always get a kick out of listening to people talk during the summertime, whether it's the SEC media days or the ACC media days. There's a lot of empty words during those times just because everybody thinks they have all the answers, and nothing's real until you tee it up and you start playing football. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We knew that when you go into fall camp, it's day by day. Once you get in the season, it's day by day. But we have a good conference, arguably one of the best conferences in the country. You're seeing that. And I've said this before, if you don't come out and you're ready to play from the first quarter till the fourth quarter, you're going to get cut down. And you got to be able to understand that as a football program, and you better have some urgency every week as you're game planning and getting ready to go into these conference games.
Defensively, when you can frustrate teams early, what does that do not only for you, but probably doesn't do for the opposition?
Right. I think that's the challenge we have each week. The coaching staff challenges us on defense to be able to start fast. I think that really can set the momentum for the game if you start fast. So I think we've done a decent job of that, but we definitely need to continue to improve on starting fast and carrying that throughout the whole game.
Defensive line room, obviously losing Mikel hurts, but you guys have a history of picking each other up, and we saw Austin get in there. We've seen a lot of other people get in there. You're in the rotation. Coach talked about playing a lot of people. What will it take collectively to make up for his loss?
Yeah, losing Mikel was huge. He's a really talented player. He really has come a long way and was playing at a really high level, but it's definitely a challenge, but we need to have that next man up mentality. I think in the defensive line room, we've all done a really good job of helping each other get better every day in our technique and really helping some of the younger guys grow up. Coach Smith does a great job with us, and we all have a really good relationship with him. So he challenges us every day, and then we kind of challenge each other. I think the seniors, we have really good leadership in the room, and I think it's really helping the younger guys out.
Ready for a big game atmosphere? Things are starting to fall into place where we know where teams are slotting in. You guys had a couple of big conference games before, then a big road test at Wyoming. Does it feel good to get back into that atmosphere? Okay, all right, we really got to buckle everything on tight for this one.
Yeah, it definitely is. Every game in the SoCon's a huge challenge, especially when you're on the road and you're in atmospheres like that. But I think that's what makes this conference fun, is going on the road. I think we've kind of learned to embrace that. It's definitely a challenge, but if you want to win championships in the SoCon, you have to win those big games on the road. So I think it's something we're definitely looking forward to.
First of all, we were all talking here. Everybody was kind of waiting for you to break out. You had a couple of chances on deep balls the first couple of games, and the hookup just wasn't there. How good did it feel to not only get into the end zone, but kind of burst out a little bit against Gardner-Webb?
I mean, it felt pretty good knowing that everything fell into place. Everything was like possible, because I seen it happen a couple of times. I didn't think I'm gonna get another chance, so it kind of felt good when I first caught the ball.
Were you getting frustrated the first few games? I mean, everybody comes from high school where they're a star and they're used to getting the ball all the time, and now you got to fit into a team concept with upperclassmen and things like that. We were only 3 games in, but were you getting frustrated at all?
I mean, a little bit, but I wasn't getting too frustrated. I knew my time was coming, and I just had to wait on it. And when the time comes, I'm gonna show what I got to do.
Talk to me about the first few games of your college career. The level that FCS plays are. Have there been things that have surprised you about playing at the college level?
Not really. I mean, you have to do a lot more thinking. So that's kind of surprised me a little bit more. You do more thinking than playing. So that's kind of like the big impact.
How about your quarterbacks? Talk about Joe and Miller, and you always got to be nice to those guys if you want to see the football. But obviously, those are 2 guys that have, in a run-based offense, have done a nice job of spreading the ball around.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, he's a really good thrower. I mean, he showed me in practice that he can throw the ball to me and get it out there to me. Miller, he's really good at throwing too. So they just told me to keep my head up and they're gonna get the ball to me. So they kind of encourage words, but.
Team-wise, let's talk about Chattanooga. You guys could kind of control your own destiny with a win, still undefeated in the conference. How much have you guys talked, although it's still early in the week, about the challenge you'll have on Saturday? I
mean, we had to get over that Gardner-Webb game pretty fast because we know we got a big game ahead of us. So we always moving forward. Coach Conklin kind of always stressing us that we have to keep moving forward. So